Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio. This is my latest quilting project. It is made from 2 blocks from the Stash Buster series of 2020. And I want to show you how I quilted this quilt. Today I'm working on a quilt top that I made from the Stash Buster blocks that I made in 2020. And this is an arrowhead star, and this is the North Star block. And I played around with thread colors for this top, thinking I was just going to use one thread across the entire top. But since there's so much contrast between the colors, especially this navy blue and the white background, I didn't think it would look very good. So I've got 2 different colors here so far. I'm going to use a white for the back. I've got this blue here that's called Stormy Blue. This is a YLI long arm pro thread, and then I will bring in a gold for all the gold parts. So I'm going to use 3 different colors of thread. So I went and stabilized this border from about this point across the top and about that point down, and I'm going to go ahead and put in this top border. I also did a little bit of quilting in here just to kind of check a design that I wanted to do, and I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'll give you a little more, I'll give you a closer look of that when we get to the other block, because these 2 blocks alternate. So that block is over here on this side, so we'll get to that there. And I'm not going to do a lot of heirloom quilting in this. I'm not doing heirloom quilting in this. No feathers. This is going to be a lot of straight line work and some curves, but I'm really not wanting to do a feather design. So in this outer border, I'm just going to do some L's and E's because they're quick and they're easy and I like the look. So we're just going to go ahead and do those. And I'm on 12 stitches per inch, and I'm on regulated mode at the moment. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm just going to stop there. Okay, so I got that all the way across the top, and I want to work in this block next. So let me adjust the camera. Okay, this is the North Star block, and on this block I'm been debating for about 2 hours what to do in this block. It's I'm not sure why this is so hard, but this is kind of an odd shape here, so I think that's what's throwing me off. And I had thought about doing some outline work, but then I think that's leaving too much empty. So then I thought about doing some continuous curve, and you know, that would be okay. I could do a stipple in there, or some swirls, because there's a lot of swirls in the background. So let's do I like that. So we'll just continue with swirls. Okay. I like that swirl in there. The thread blends really well, so nothing is really standing out, and it's just kind of mimicking what's going on in the fabric. So, however, I do think it needs some stitch in the ditch. So I'm going to hold off on that for right now. Let's see, I could do some of it, and other of it needs to kind of be yellow thread, but most of it, okay, let's do what we can do. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we're going to do the next block. So let's move back over. Now these blue areas are very narrow, so they don't need a lot of quilting in them. And what I'm going to do is just go from one point to the next. Okay, so that's all I want to do in that. Okay, and I want to switch over thread. I'll do this whole row so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'll switch to the gold and then I'll switch to the white. Okay, I've switched threads, and the color of this thread is called Brickle. It is a YLI long arm pro thread, and it matches this gold fabric really well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do kind of the same design that I did here. I'm just going to go from point to point. And then I'm going to come in just a little bit because I want to put a little bit more quilting in there than that. So swing over a little bit and do it again. So we're going to do like a double V in there. Okay, so now we've got this star here, and I'm going to do some square and a square type work in here, and I'm going to do that first and then work on these points. This is another one that I just really wasn't certain what I wanted to do. Sometimes it's just kind of hard to decide. And I'm gonna come up, outline the point, go back in, go to this corner, over to the corner there. I just have one more, I have two more lines to do. I need to get to this here. And instead of ditching all the way around, I'm just going to break the thread and move on over and get that. I was trying to get around it all in one pass, but I misjudged that one, so. Let's see what I think, if it needs anything else. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do the center of this block now. Now what I did is I just basically did an outline of the block here on the background pieces. And I'm going to do some continuous curve in here, and then I'm going to do some cross hatching in here. So I got to this point. And I'm going to go across to the outer points. And go all the way across. And I want to see, yeah, I want to see if I can stitch in the ditch all the way across. Might be better going this way though. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so that's that design. Okay, here is the completed quilt. I've got it pinned up on the design wall. I have the binding sewn to the front, but it's not turned to the back and hand sewn down yet. I use the same fabric that's in the border for the binding. So it just all kind of blends in. But here it is all finished. It took me a couple of hours, I would say maybe 3 or 4 hours to do this quilt. Since there's so much ruler work in there, I think that's what took me so long with that one. It's not very large, it's 41 inches square. And it's made with 2 blocks that are alternating. So we have the arrowhead block with the white background, and one with the dark background is the North Star block. So I did a little bit of continuous curve, but most of this is just straight line quilting. And then in the background of the dark stars of the North Star, I did some swirls. And that border has L's and E's in it. So nothing complicated, just I kept it pretty simple. And I think it looks pretty good. I went back and forth on what to do in the North Star blocks. You know, that is a big bold block, and there's a lot of space there in that star to fill up, but I think that looks okay. There's all kinds of things you could do in there. You could put a feather in there. You could do other kind of straight line quilting. You could do swirls in there. You could make tavish. There's just all different kinds of things. Any kind of background filler you can think of, you can put in there. You could do it all continuous curve. Just lots of options. So I'm going to get a little bit closer and show you a little more detail close up. Here I've kind of picked out 2 blocks here side by side. The arrowhead stars on the left and the North Star is on the right. And in that arrowhead star I did some straight line stitching, and the gold pieces just kind of made a V, and then just doubled that up to put that in there. And then I did the kind of the V shape also in the blue, so you can see right, so I got my finger right there, it's just a V right there. I just did a single one. So my tendency is to quilt pretty heavy, and I didn't want to do that in this quilt too much anyway. And in the North Star, in the North Star block, I did some swirls in that background because the fabric has a swirl in it, so I just kind of took my cue from the fabric and just copied that. And then here is the center of the block, and you can see how I did just some cross hatching in there and an outline stitch around the star. Now I did do one down here. You can see I did a little bit of continuous curve in there and decided I wasn't real happy with that, so I forgot to take that out and requilt that. So I may just leave it the way it is for right now anyway, and fix that later. So That is different than the other blocks. And the background of the arrowhead star, I did a continuous curve around the square, on the outside of the square, and then just did some cross hatching in the center. So nothing elaborate, it's all pretty much beginner type quilting. And then for the background pieces, I just did an outline stitch on those. So that's pretty simple too. So that is it for this project. If you like this video, I hope you will click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.